Hi, I'm Mike with MD Arms. I got some notes here because I got a lot of stuff I wanted to go over. I wrote them just to try to keep the ums down and just so I wouldn't forget anything, hopefully help reduce the video time. You may have seen Alliance Armament's practical drum comparison videos on YouTube and on their site. They're a 4-part video, part 1, part 2A, part 2B, and part 3. They was filmed in response to my torture videos. Well, my torture videos was in response to them trying to tell everybody my drum was made of cheap plastic and wouldn't last. And I'm pretty sure by my videos I showed which was the more durable of the two drums and which will take wear a lot better, even if you're not running it over. I can't keep running in circles with these guys. It's been going on for about 1.5 years now. It's just a waste of my time. You know, after this set of videos, after I call them out for the dishonest, sneaky jackasses they are one last time, I'm going to leave it up to the consumer. They can decide if it's my drum or their drum. Also, if you want to see some of their other business practices, I've summarized their history between myself and also with the Saiga-12 form. The Saiga-12 form is that little form they was talking about in their videos. It's got almost 12,000 members in it. A lot of good people that know a lot about these guns. A whole lot more than these guys could ever dream of knowing. It also tells why they're not business members there anymore. First thing I wanted to go over was something that I can say 100% I have no doubt that it was staged, and I can prove it right here. This is an MD20 drum. This is a modified MD20 drum, you could say tampered with, and this is a Wraithmaker. They showed in part 3 of their video when they was hooking it up to their full auto, it nosing up and catching in the gun. Now what I've done here is I've made this where it can nose up. You can also push it over to the side and it'll stay. But MD20 drum just don't do that, period. Now you can raise it up and it snaps itself right back down, right back in place. You can push it over to the side, snaps right back in place, right where it needs to be, right in the center, right down level with the right angle. Now, what they've done is they've put that in the very first part of their video there so they could take as many shots as they needed to and not take all day. One thing that helped me do this better was dropping the spring tension, which kind of explains why the high brass was out cycling the drum. They just give it a little knot. Well, see, there it was kind of up. See, just like that. If you put it in easy, it'd still load fine. There we go. Well, it almost caught it. You can see it up there, up top. It's almost that was catching on it pretty good. Now the MD20 just doesn't do that. You can take this thing, shake it around, do whatever you want, beat it around, and every time it's going to lock right up. Out of 1,000 times you try this, you're not ever going to catch a round up top there. It's not something that's going to wear out and you're going to catch it. It's just not going to happen. So that was staged, and therefore I think everything else they put in their videos was staged. Every word spoken needs to be second guessed, because that's the history of these guys. Let me show you their drum. It has the same problems as that tampered with drum does, only there's another flaw in this that causes this reaction right here. Like even in the modified tampered with MD drum, you push it down and go right back. These you have to actually give it a little extra push down, and but you know, it'll come right back up. There, it got caught like that again. And side to side is even worse than the one I tampered with. Now you might say, well Mike, you've ran over that drum. You could have did the same thing to that drum that you did to yours to make it do that. But luckily for me, that in that very same video, part 3, when he goes over and gets his drum, he doesn't walk right back to the camera. He tries to stay a little away. And they try to be really careful when they're putting them drums in not to knock it and make it go up, because you saw how easy it was. And it's even easier with that. But when he was over there, he had his drum like this. He's hooking it up. He's having a little problems. He starts going like this, messing like that. And before you know it, he's like this. Like, you know, starting to go like this. Now, if you're having problems inserting your drum and you're messing with your mag release lever, or you're thinking, I need a little more forward assistance, would you go like this? Would you be messing with this like this? Or would you have your thumb in the action right here, pushing that round down? They've been shipping these things for 16 months, since the very beginning of July. Now, I'm not going to tell you what I did to that drum, because what I've done to that drum is I've reproduced the flaw in this drum to make it do this. And if they somehow found another way to reproduce that in my drum and it's not the same thing I did, I'd be telling them how to fix their design. But let's just say they do know what to do, and that's how they knew to fix that way. Wouldn't they know how to fix their own design? Wouldn't that new in the box drum of theirs not be doing that? They've had a year and 4 months to fix it. Alright, parts 2A and 2B. I really can't explain what they've done to make my drum fail to eject like it did with the Remington value pack stuff. Ever since I've been messing with these drums from my very first prototype, I've never had that kind of result. I tried to reproduce it. I thought maybe they jacked the spring tension up real high to increase drag on the bolt, and I still, even with that, couldn't do it. And that was out of about 8 guns of mine or so. In part 3, I pretty much summed up the jams there. I'm positive, I'm almost 100% positive they've dropped the spring tension down on that drum, so to assure that the high brass without cycle it. They was saying something about the full auto couldn't keep up with the full auto. Well, the full auto doesn't work like that. I'll explain to you how a full auto does work. Any gas operated gun is operated by gas. It doesn't matter if it's full auto or semi-auto, the bolt and the action of the gun, everything's going to be moving at the same speeds. When you fire full auto, the bolt comes back, drops back down, and there's an auto sear up here, which when this bolt goes completely closed will trip that and make the disconnect let go of the hammer again and cause it to keep firing. With a semi-auto, you pull the trigger, comes back, locks on the disconnect, only there's no auto sear. You have to let go of the trigger, pull it again. When you let go of the trigger, it lets go of the disconnect, and then the trigger, on a converted gun, the trigger up here will catch it again, and you have to pull the trigger again. It may seem like it's faster with a full auto, but it's not. What is faster is the auto sear can work faster than you can let go of the trigger and pull it again. Now the Alliance guys was told this about a year ago on that little forum. They got schooled on it. Whether they let it soak in or took it for the truth that it is, I don't know. Maybe they're just hoping that you don't know how full auto really operates.